Very challenging.
Seriously, what are you doing?
Goodbye, Terry.
My life's getting worse and worse because of you.
No, well, that's...
Get him.
Media and
Get
all
him out of
this.
there. Get him. How do we deal with difficult voters? In the studio with me today, we have Robert Housefly MP, who has just received a promotion. He's now a minister for stealth.
Minister for Stealth and Sneaking, James.
Stealth and sneaking. Okay, that's a pretty important job. I know it's quite high up in the government now, so it's kind of raised its profile. But our main guest, I have to say, sorry about that, Robert, is the author Terry Golding, who wrote the book How I Escaped My Parents and Found Love in Islington. Terry, a pleasure to have you here. Now, I have to admit, we have a lot of authors on here, and we do discuss a lot of books. I don't really have time to read all that many of them because I am pretty busy news anchor. But I did read this one, and I have to say, this is one of the greatest political books that I have read in years. The concepts defined and strong. How did you feel about it, Robert?
I agree with you in the strongest possible terms, James. I think this is a phenomenal work. I don't think it's too strong to call this probably the seminal political text of the 21st century.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, we're delighted to have Terry here.
I commend you for your work, Terry. I'm doing my best to try and contain myself here on the sofa. I am a little bit of a fanboy, James. That's right. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, Terry. I look forward to digging into it.
Now, Terry, one of the concepts, probably the concept that's most prevalent in the book, is that of dinner parties and the importance of them. Could you perhaps take us through that concept for our viewers?
So like you invite people over and you cook, and then you like chat.
Terry,
he's very good, isn't he?
Maybe have a drink or two.
I could.
Summer, you can do it outside of barbecue. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Well,
I suppose so.
Certainly.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Terry. The wit was clear in the pages of the book, and I think we're witnessing it.
Yes.
Real.
Only a creative mind could be so. But I think if we could, hone in on the discussions and the reasons behind these dinner parties and their usefulness and their applicability.
Because
to
my feeling about it was, and I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but I love the idea that government, instead of taking place in these stuffy old buildings in Whitehall and the House of Commons and the House of Parliament, is conducted by 5 or 6 people around a dinner party table on a Thursday night, maybe a Friday.
Yeah.
And they make the decisions for the country behind closed doors, really, because you have to, you have to make tough choices. And if people know about what those, I mean, you can probably correct me on this.
No, you're absolutely right, James. And I wholeheartedly agree with the point that Terry makes in the book, which is it is vital to our political survival that we take the political conversations which we have, for some reason, made available to the public out of that sphere and into this much more intimate space where elite members of the political class can make the decisions that are best suited to the country as a whole.
Do what they want for the better.
Absolutely. And that's a point, Terry, which I think no one in politics has been brave enough to say. And it takes a truly forward-thinking, creative mind to have the bravery to come forward and say that. And so I commend you in the strongest terms.
I was just talking about dinner parties. Like,
yes, but there's so much more to the...
Yeah, but the whole concept of government making choices for people behind closed doors in a dinner party setting is.
That's what it says.
Your thoughts on that aspect.
Well, I don't think they should really, should they? Probably just, I think it's probably quite good that it's out in the open because then we know. There's already grubby deals going on, aren't there? Like behind what we see on TV.
Well, no. This act down well.
I think what Terry's doing here is employing a certain level of authorial irony.
I don't know what those words are, but I don't really care for them. I think politics should be done out in the open, and it definitely shouldn't be relying on 6 people around the dinner table, eating chicken.
Terry, that's the opposite.
Terry, that's your book. Yes,
discusses the opposite of what you wrote.
It's not my book.
What do you mean? You are the author, Terry Golding, of How I Escaped My Parents and Found Love in Islington.
I'm Terry Goulding. Oh, Golding.
Terry
Goulding.
Goulding? You didn't write
sorry.
it. Where's Terry Golding then?
I'm sorry.
I was just down at reception
who are you?
I'm here to do the plumbing.
What?
James,
There's like a clog in
plumber, James.
Okay, so you're Terry Goulding,
Yeah.
a plumber,
Yeah.
and where Terry Golding is downstairs in reception. This is quite.
I mean, well, it seems like you probably need me because you're just agreeing with him, and what this other guy agrees with the two of you. So what's the point?
Oh no! That's not. No. This was a hard-hitting, biting interview.
Very challenging. Seriously, what are you doing?
Goodbye, Terry.
My life is getting worse and worse because of you.
Well,
that's
get him.
The media and all
Get him
this
out of there.
is
Get him.
bullshit.
Has to be a certain level of personal autonomy. Let's go. Maybe pop down to Weatherspoons, Terry, and have a pint of Stella or whatever it is you might.
Well, clearly, oh my goodness. First of all, I've got to apologise to viewers if they heard any bad language. I mean, I did make sure that his mic was cut.
James,
maybe
I
some
have
of
to
it
say,
came through.
you need to work on your vetting process for your guests much more stringently. I was not aware that I was going to be sitting here today with a member of the public.
Yes, this is look. They're making out downstairs. They're making out.
I could have been killed, James.
I think if he'd had a weapon, he'd have probably used it. He was certainly very angry. We did see that. We saw anger in his face. We saw
sweaty, James.
pained expressions.
Can I get some water?
Very rage-filled individual that we weren't expecting. We were expecting Terry Golding, who's an excellent author, and what we got was a plumber. So again, I apologise to viewers who had to witness that. We never want to repeat that.
James,
we don't want that.
James, I can still smell.
Okay,
you need to wash this.
Yeah, we'll go for a break. We'll go for a break and do something about the stench. Now, stay with us. Again, apologies for foul language. That's not what we're about here. We're about polite agreement, if we can possibly get it. We'll be back with you after these messages.
I've been sick in my mouth.